Hello and welcome to the HTM Hackers Hangout. I'm Matt Taylor, the open source community flag bearer for Numenta. And if a hangout happens and only one person is at the hangout, is that still considered a hangout, or is it a hang in, or is it a hang loose? Either way, I'm hanging here alone. The thing is, there's a research meeting in the Numenta office that's running along, so they're not going to be here right away. And it's the Friday before Independence Day weekend in the United States. So a lot of people, I think, take the day off. But I don't care. I'm going to do an HTM Hackers Hangout no matter what. Because I know you really, really want it. So I do have a couple things I think I'd like to talk about. First of all, sort of Numenta priorities, I guess, keep you updated on what we're thinking about. We're doing a bit of a priority shift for our engineering team to move away from building sample products and stuff to research. So you might have noticed that we just released a product called HDM Studio this week. I think it looks really slick. It's a desktop application for OS X or for Windows. So you can run NewPick, and it runs NewPick inside of its own little Python environment isolated from Windows or OS X. So it's a kind of a beefy download because it brings its own environment with it. But it was the only way we could reliably deploy this little desktop app. So you run this desktop app. You can learn more about this at Numenta.com. I think there's like it's one of the big banners on the front that says HTM Studio release. Anyway, you can download it there. You can run it. You can run it your data straight through it. All you have to do is put your data in a comma delimited format, and it makes sure that it's temporal. And it will find anomalies in your data and highlight them right there on the screen. It's really pretty slick. So if you're interested in trying HTM and you're not a programmer, or you have some data lying around that you think might be applicable, try it out. Go to Numenta.com, download HTM Studio, and give it a shot. So we've been working on this for months now. Now that we've released 1.0, we're going to refocus our engineers onto research. Now there's a little bit of work we want to do in the meantime before we focus 100% on research stuff. And this is the research that Jeff has talked about on HTM Forum and on the YouTube research meeting. We're going to start focusing on that. But before we're quite ready to do that, there's some cleanup tasks we want to do in NewPick. Specifically, I think the most important thing, Scott and I both agree on this, is to get the serialization stuff done. So it'll be Captain Proto all over stuff, and that will increase the performance of serializing and deserializing NewPick models to disk by like 10x or something crazy. So it will speed up everything automatically, well, if you're serializing models. But that means it'll make HTM Engine a lot faster, for example, just by upgrading. So we're going to get that done. And there's some other things, I think, something about sequence classification that Marion wanted to finish up, and some other sort of low-hanging cleanup tasks that we want to finish up with NewPick before we dive into research mode. I'm not a researcher. I probably will still be playing the same role right now. I'm still kind of 50-50 trying to do educational stuff versus project management of NewPick Core. So I'm going to still be doing that, but I am going to have a nice window into the research work that Numenta is doing. And that should all be happening in our research repository that we usually do our research in. And the reason you haven't seen any of that happening yet is because we haven't done it yet. So all of the research that we've done so far is just like reading and thinking. We're not quite to the point where we have the pseudocode down or writing test dummy implementations of anything. When that does happen, you're going to see that in the research repository. So if you're watching that, It's called newpic.research. You'll see it happen there. I was hoping Aaron Wright might be on. If you're watching, Aaron, no big deal. Aaron went to a meeting. Was it June 27th? Last week or this week? This week. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, and I don't think anybody at Nimita made it to the meetup. Honestly, it was bad timing, and I didn't have much notice, or I would have tried to make it up. So sorry we missed that Flink meetup. But Aaron, if you're out there, let us know how it went. Post on HTM forum how it was received. What are the Flink people thinking about HTM? I'd be interested to find out about that. Okay, on to new news. Our NAB competition. Remember, NAB is the Nimita Anomaly Benchmark, where we're comparing anomaly detection capabilities of a bunch of temporal streaming unsupervised learning systems, including NewPic, LSTM, Etsy, Skyline, Twitter. That competition, which we've had open for a while now, which was going to be closed today, we've extended it, I think, until July 22nd. Go to nimita.org/NAB, N-A-B, to find out about that. We have a few entries, but there's still a big opportunity to win up to $5,000 there if you can come up with a really cool labeled data set that we could add to our data sets for the benchmark, or add another algorithm to analyze the data sets so that we can rank them along with the ones that we currently have in there. That would be awesome. Each one of those things has a $2,500 top prize, I think, for the best submission for either data or for an algorithm for NAB. Again, that's numenta.com/org. So what's Matt been working on? I have been just neck deep in spatial pooling research. So if you're following HTM School, you know I owe everyone spatial pooling HTM School episodes. And turns out that the spatial pooling algorithm, while I can say I understand it at this point, I can tell what it's doing, I know why it works, I know how it works, but as far as visualizations, it's very difficult to come up with an intuitive way to show how and why it works, especially in the format of a video, a passively received video, no Q&A live. So I'm struggling to come up with the right combination of concepts and visualizations so to get what I want, which is to have people understand how spatial pooling works. I'm working on it. There's a really big chance that the HTM School I'm going to release next Friday won't actually be about spatial pooling because I want another couple weeks to work on it. Honestly, this is hard, and I don't want to put out a subpar episode just because I didn't have enough time to research the material. So I would rather put the episode off a couple of weeks and put out something else next week, which I'm thinking about. While I'm continuing, like I said, I'm neck deep in this stuff. I've already written a bunch of code, a bunch of visualizations. I'm just not happy with any of them. So I'm still refining everything and figuring out exactly how I want to show how it works. So there may not be, there probably will not be a spatial pooling HTM School next week, but there'll be something. And then 2 weeks after that, I'll make a tentative promise that you'll have episode 1 of spatial pooling. There's going to definitely be more than one episode. I'm thinking 3 or 4 probably just on spatial pooling. There's some important things that deserve their own episodes, like how does inhibition work? How does boosting work? What about topography? I haven't even turned on topography yet. Everything I've done so far has just been with one-dimensional spatial pooling. But there's this whole other aspect of spatial pooling with topography that might actually make it easier to visualize and understand how it works. But honestly, we hardly ever have topography turned on. I'm saying topography, I mean topology, right? Anyway, topology, yeah. So search, replace in your brain history, all of those things. So working on spatial pooling for HTM school, and I am still behind on ticket review. I've still got hundreds and hundreds of new pick tickets to review, update, triage, etc. I'm putting that off a little bit, but I'm getting, every week I push through another 50 or 100 or so. That's kind of a lot, at least 50. But I'm working on it. It's just not a fun thing to do. Let's see, any other updates that I want to give you guys? Community updates. Just looking at HTM forum to see if there's anything interesting I should bring up. Talked about NAB. A lot of great chatter on HTM forum. Thanks everybody for migrating over. I'm still getting some good help, instructions, questions, and how do I get this working? Why isn't this working? And I'm trying to get to those as soon as I can. Right, so I think that's all I have since nobody else is live and online. This was a very fast HTM Hackers Hangout, but thanks for watching either way. I appreciate it. And I'll do this in another month, so I do one of these a month, and hopefully we'll have a few more people from the community able to join in. And take care, and I'll see you on HTM Forum. Have a wonderful Independence Day weekend if you're in the United States. Otherwise, have a wonderful global weekend.